I'm dressed as Perona today for obvious reasons, and today we'll be making kumashi. If you're new here, my name is Stimmy and this is Stimmy Stim channel, wherein I do crochet tutorials and I am trying to do more social media journey type of things I've learned and all that stuff. So if crocheting or social media growth is something that you're interested in, please follow me. For today we're making kumashi, and honestly this is something that one of my Instagram followers suggested me, and I was like, looks hella cute, why not? That's a little incentive for you. If you do want to follow me on Instagram, you can suggest me things there, or you can suggest me things in the comments and maybe I'll make a tutorial for it. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up because it does help the algorithm find my videos so that I can share my love for crochet and my love for teaching as well. And I hope you enjoy making this kumashi as much as I enjoyed making him.
So this is what I got, and this is the very first kumashi that I made. So I'm actually thinking I want to turn it pink now. All of the yarn that I'll be using is on weight 4, and I'll be using the 3mm hook. Brown for the main body color, a little bit of a dark brown for his tiny nose there, and you want a white or a cream for his eyes and like these white stuff and all of his bandages, and a secondary color. So the secondary color for this one is this light blue. So this time I'm actually going to use pink. I don't have a lot of pink left, but I hope this is enough. And you also want this like ternary color, I guess it's for the hat, so I'm using this like even darker pink. You obviously also need some safety eyes, embroidery floss for these like stitch looking lines over here. If you don't have embroidery floss, feel free to just use like scrap yarn. So in this case it would be like black yarn, because I'm using black embroidery floss here. You also need like a pale pink for his ears over here. It's so crazy that I have just like 3 shades of pink like ready to go. You also need some polyfill to actually fill him up, scissors, embroidery needle, and also stitch markers. You only need 1 honestly, but I just have a lot just cause. And I guess this is just a random plug, but I really like these counter things. It's really satisfying to just like click whenever you're finished with like a row. And yeah, let's just get started. So for the body plus head, I'm actually gonna start from the very bottom here, and it's gonna land up here. So that would be like, I don't know, like 70% of the piece. So once we got the body going, we're pretty much almost there. From down here, as you can see in my very first kumashi, I started with a brown and I went up here, but this time I'm kind of going for something different. I'm gonna start with white so that it gives the more of an illusion of the bandage. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but I'm just gonna do it. So on this original one, I just started out with brown and then went to like these color changes, but this time I'm just going to use white until like maybe like over here and continue with brown. So that's what I'm gonna do, and if that's what you want to do as well, follow along. Otherwise it's just brown all the way until we do the color changes. So for the, I guess the ass, at this point, if you're like starting from the bottom, I'm gonna start with the magic circle. And if you do not know how to do a magic circle, there's a ton of magic circle tutorials out there, so but I'm just gonna do it quickly in case you need reminders, which I did a lot back then when I started. So what I do is I do a cross, and then I turn like that, and then down, up, pull, and then I take this one right here, and then I do a chain. There you go, that's your magic circle. So on the very first round here, I actually want to start with 6 single crochet in the magic ring. So also another thing that I want to note is that I'm going to be using the yarn under method. So normally when you do like single crochet, you do a yarn over and pull through and yarn over and pull through, but for me I'm going to do the yarn under like that and pull through, and then yarn over and then pull through. So you can really use whatever you want, but I like to use the yarn under method just because it helps not show the stuffing too much, and it also helps the amigurumi not twist too much. And with all the color changes that we have, it's probably a bit more helpful to not have the twisting going on, but honestly it's completely up to you. The result of that is not a huge deal, so do whichever is you are comfortable with. So yeah, with that out of the way, I'm going to do 6 single crochet in the magic ring. So I'm gonna insert it through the hole, and then yarn under, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through. There you go. So that's your very first single crochet, and I'm gonna do 5 more. 3, 4, 5, 6, and I got 6 single crochet in this magic circle, and then I'm just gonna pull, and I like to pull quite tightly just because, yeah, you really don't want a hole in there. So usually I just pull until I can't pull anymore, basically. Okay, so you're done with round 1. So for round 2, you're actually going to increase all round. So you're going to be increasing 6 times. So what is an increase? So an increase is essentially just doing a single crochet twice on one single crochet. So for this one, this is the first single crochet of the very first round. So I'm just going to insert 2 single crochets in this one single crochet. So yarn under, yarn over, pull through, and then in the very same stitch you insert your yarn again. You insert your hook again, yarn under, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So as you can see, you have 2 single crochets on 1 single crochet from the previous round. And what I like to do is, using a stitch marker, I like to mark the very first single crochet that I made on that round, just so that I'm super sure that I'm not like accidentally adding or I'm not accidentally adding or reducing any stitches. And it's not a foolproof strategy, but it really helps. So that's the first increase that I've done. So I want to increase 5 more times, and by the end of this round you should have 12 single crochets, right? So I'm just going to go through this round with you just to make sure we're on the same page. So on the next single crochet, you want to increase again. So you do 1 single crochet, and on the very same stitch, you do another single crochet. There you go. And then I need to do more of that. So on the next stitch, single crochet, yarn, and then on the same stitch, single crochet, and that's our 3rd increase. On the next stitch, you do single crochet, first one and then second one, so that's another increase. And I hope this makes sense. Super straightforward, and this is my very last stitch, so I'm gonna do 2 on that as well. And there you go. So if you count all the stitches that are in this round, you should have 12. And I know that when I began doing amigurumi, I always count my stitches, but nowadays I'm just kind of like winging it. So I don't know. I think I'm sure that I have 12 now, so I'm not gonna count, but you could definitely count if you want. Okay, so now we have on the end of round 2. So now let's start round 3. So I'm going to take away this stitch marker just so that I can work on the first stitch. So on the 3rd round, we want to do a single crochet here, and then increase here, and a single crochet here, and then increase here, single crochet, increase, and so on. So it's kind of like a pattern. And you're going to see this throughout the whole amigurumi process. So remember, the pattern is a single crochet and an increase, and then you're going to repeat that 6 times. And by the end of this round, you will have 18 stitches. So let me just do this round for you, because the rest of the round is very similar to this kind of like repetition. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet. So that's a single crochet, and then we want to increase. So on the very next stitch, we do an increase. So remember, an increase is inserting 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and that is what I did. So far you're going to have 3 single crochets, right? And then next you want to continue that single crochet and then increase. There you go. And then you want to do another single crochet and then increase. And you just want to keep repeating that single crochet and increase sequence until the end. In total, you'll be doing like 6 repetitions of that. So 1, increase, and I just kind of want to make this absolutely clear, because once you understand this like sequence, it would be so easy. So that's a single crochet and then an increase, and then a single crochet and an increase. There you go. And then, like I said, if you want to count your stitches, this is where you can do it. So if you remember, so the stitch marker is the sign that it's moving on to the next round. So make sure you end right before that stitch marker. And yeah, this is a good place for you to count. I'm not gonna, just cause. So I'm pretty sure I have 18. Okay, so this is at the round 3. And I'm going to like speed this up a little bit just because a lot of things are just very similar to how we've been doing this. So this is the end of round 3. So let's move on to round 4. So for round 4, it's going to be 2 single crochet and an increase, and you're going to repeat that sequence 6 times. And at the end of the round, you'll have 24 stitches. So let me just start. So I get rid of that, and then do an 2 single crochet. So that's 1 single crochet, and then on the next available stitch, that's another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets, and then on the next stitch you do an increase. Remember, that's 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. There you go. So that's one sequence of 2 single crochet and an increase. So you just need to keep repeating that. So I'm just going to do it once more for this round, and then I'm going to have you do the other round without as much detail. We're going to do 2 single crochet and an increase. So 1 single crochet, and then the next available stitch, that's 2 single crochets, and then an increase. So 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. There you go. And then 1 single crochet, and on the next stitch 2 single crochet, and then an increase. There you go. And then the next stitch 1 single crochet, and then the next stitch another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets, and then on the next stitch you want to do an increase. And there you go. And it looks like I need to do 2 more sequences of that. So 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet, and then an increase. And then last one, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and an increase. There you go. And again, if you want to count, it's going to be 24. Again, I feel like I don't need to keep repeating this, but I'm not going to count. I don't know. Why do I like to talk about myself just being lazy all the time? Okay, so this is the end of round 4. So let's begin round 5. So for round 5, it's going to be 3 single crochet and an increase, and you're going to repeat that sequence 6 times for a total of 30 single crochets by the end of this round. So I feel like you should all be able to do this by now, as in like hopefully the concept of the sequence makes sense, because I feel like it's super tedious for me to just like go through everything all the time. So okay, remember, it's 3 single crochet and then an increase for this round 5. So remember, this is the first single crochet that I just did, that I put with the stitch marker, and then 2 single crochet, and then 3 single crochet, and then an increase. Okay, and then 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, increase. There you go. Yeah, and then you just keep repeating that 3 single crochet and an increase until you've reached the end. And so I'm just going to meet you back at the end so I can save memory space on this recording device. Okay, see you there. I'm at the end of my round 5, and if you count your stitches, you should have 30 stitches. And then now we'll begin round 6. So for round 6, we're going to do 4 single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times, and by the end of the round we should have 36 single crochet. So okay, so let me just do it once with you together. So that's 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, and an increase. Okay, so you should have around like 6 stitches at this point for this round. So I'll meet you back at the end of this round, and we'll have 36 stitches. Okay, I'm at the end of round 6. Now we'll continue on to round 7. So for round 7, we're going to do 5 single crochet and an increase, and we will repeat that repetition 6 times till the end of the round, and by the end of the round we will have 42 stitches. Okay, so let me just do one sequence for you. So remember, it's 5 single crochet and an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet, and then we'll do an increase. Okay, so that's the sequence that you're going to repeat a total of 6 times. So I'll meet you back when I have reached the end of my round 7. So I'm at the end of round 7, and then I will continue on to round 8. So for round 8, we will have 6 single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times until the end of the round, and by the end of the round we should have 48 stitches. So let me just do that once with you. So it's 6 single crochet and an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an increase. And there you go. And I'm going to continue till the end of the round, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 8. And then now we will continue on to round 9. So for round 9, we're actually just going to single crochet all around. No increases at all. So it will be 48 single crochets until the end of this round. So hope you remember how to do a single crochet, but let me just do a couple for you. So we do 1 single crochet. And put that stitch marker on, and then yeah, just keep single crocheting until the end of the round. And hopefully that is clear, and I'll meet you back once I have reached the end of round 9. Okay, so I have reached at the end of round 9. So now for round 10 and 11, we're actually going to do the same single crochet all around, but I'm going to switch color to brown. So let me quickly teach you how to do a color switch. So grab your other color here. Okay, so what you want to do is when you're switching color, you want to do it right before the stitch that's supposed to be the new color. Hope that makes sense. So this is my very last stitch of round 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that last stitch, right? So you see how that stitch is unoccupied. Okay, so now I want to do the single crochet kind of like halfway. So you insert your hook, yarn under, pull through, and you got like this. So instead of yarning over and pulling through with your first color, you want to grab your second color like this and just pull through. And there you go, that's your new color. So here what I'd like to do is I cut the working white or cream yarn. We'll actually be needing cream later, but we can just cut it for now. And then I like to tie these in a knot. So I hope I don't need to explain how to do that. I don't know. I don't want to come off like I'm like mansplaining everything. So I just like to do it twice. Anyway, and yeah, so there you go. And as if nothing happened, right? You just want to continue round 10 and 11. So that's 2 rounds in all single crochet, no increases, no nothing. Okay, so with the new color, just do a single crochet and then just keep doing it. So you're going to do this for round 10 and 11. So I will meet you back at round 11 once we've done like 2 rounds of this single crochet with the brown, and for each of those rounds we will have 48 stitches. Right, see you then. I am at the end of round 11, so you should have 2 rounds of the brown. And then now, so this is basically where we're at. We're basically like right here. The next couple of rounds are going to be a bit tricky because it's going to include 3 different colors at the same time. But don't worry, we're going to go through it together. It's round 12. What you want to do on the round 12, you want to begin with 6 single crochets. So let's just do 6 single crochets with the brown color. So let's just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 6, and then now we want to switch. We want to begin alternating between 2 single crochets of the blue, and then 2 single crochets of the white, 2 single crochets of blue, 2 single crochets of white, and so on. Now we will begin the color change. So from the 6 single crochet that you've done, so we want to switch immediately to blue, right? So remember, we want to undo the very last stitch, and then we're just going to do it halfway. So we do yarn under and then stop here, and then grab your color. For me, it's going to be pink. For you, it's going to be blue if you're wanting to follow the Kumashi reference. I'm going to yarn over just like that. And typically I would cut the yarn here and then tie it with the other end of the pink here, but how can I say this? I'm lazy. So I'm actually just gonna keep like reusing this, and then so once like I'm using the brown again over here, I'm just gonna bring it over here, carefully though, because if you don't do it right, it can actually like scrunch up the amigurumi. So I'm just gonna do like my way, and then you can do whatever you want, but typically you would want to cut this and then tie it, and then you just continue with the other color. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Okay, so and then you can just do whatever you want. Okay, so for the pink, we're gonna do 2 single crochet, remember? So and then since I'm not like tying it, I'm actually going to like try to put it like behind the single crochet, so I'm kind of like single crocheting over it. Okay, so that's 1, and then 2, and then remember I want to do a color change, so it's gonna color change to white. That, and then I'm not gonna cut the pink yarn either, because, and this is not because I'm lazy, because this is called like the jacks pattern or something like that, where you're using multiple yarn colors, but since they're kind of like close together, it's kind of pointless to try to like cut the yarn and then continue back again. So it's kind of like strategically doing it with these 2 colors in a way that it doesn't like tangle like the colors together. So you kind of want to be careful here, because you're going to be using 2 colors at the same time. So just, you know, just follow along. Okay, so we got 2 single crochet of the pink, so now we want a 2 single crochet of the white. So, and again, I'm going to like a single crochet over the yarn end. So there's 1, and then there's 2, and then I want to switch immediately to pink, right? So make sure, so what I like to do in order to make sure that I don't get things tangled, and if you've ever worked with colors before, you know what I'm talking about. So what I try to do is that the white, I try to keep it on the left, and the pink, I try to keep it on the right, and I try not to mix them up. So I'm gonna take the pink, and then I'm gonna single crochet 2 again, like that. And then now remember, put the pink on the right, and then take the white on the left, and then another 2 single crochet that white, and then remember, take the pink so it's on the right, and then just 2 single crochet of that pink, and then another white, and then 2 single crochet of that white. And then so what is it gonna look like on the back? So it's gonna look like something like this. So you see how it's kind of like tidy, it's kind of like, you know, like the pink and the white is just like crisscrossing with each other. You know, I hope that makes sense. I hope what I'm saying like makes sense. Sometimes like when I say something, it doesn't even make sense to me. So but yeah, that's the point. That's the jacks pattern. If I pronounce it correctly, I don't know, Jaquest something. Essentially you're going to continue with this like stripes pattern, I don't know, stripes pattern until the end of the round. So you just keep alternating pink, white, pink, white, pink, white until you've reached the end here. And by my calculations, look at me just like preparing. By my calculations, you should end up with 2 pinks over here. So it'd be pink, white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, white, blah, 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 and then it will be like pink over here. So I hope this is clear how this is being done. In total, you'll have 48 stitches, and 6 of them being the round, and then the rest being like this alternating like sequence going on. And also and with all of that, I'm still just like kind of like ignoring this brown over here. At least in my lazy technique, I'm just gonna keep this over here, but just pay attention and make sure that the white is on the left and the pink is on the right, just to make sure that these two colors, they don't get tangled. So I'll meet you back at the end of round 12. All right, I'm at the end of round 12, and you can see all my stripes are like going all around until the very end right here. If you kind of like count the pink, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's like 10 pairs, and then there's like an extra pink. For rounds 13 until round 16, it's going to be exactly the same as this round 12 you got here. So I just want to like talk about a little bit about like these colors, because I'm using my lazy method. So if you're using my lazy method too, this is what I'm gonna do with like the brown here. For round 13, it's going to be another 6 single crochet with the brown, and then alternating pink and white, right? So so I'm actually going to pick up the brown color again. So I'm going to undo the very last stitch, right? And then you do a yarn under, and then pick up the brown, and pick up the brown. So, and then essentially you just want to put it back over here, and then that's it. That's your color change without actually like cutting off and tying up the brown. So that's my lazy method. The only caveat to that is that you want to make sure that is like that connects from the previous round to your current hook. You want to make sure it's loose AF, okay? You do not want it to be tight like this, like that. I know it's tempting to make it tight because it kind of like looks tidier, but the problem is if you make it tight or not loose enough, it's actually going to like cinch up your amigurumi, and then it's just not gonna look puffy. At the end, you're gonna like probably like have to cut it, and so that it looks puffier, and it's a bit of a mess. So if you're doing this lazy method with me, make sure you leave it loose, okay? If you're not sure if it's loose enough, make it loose. So I'm gonna keep it like this. Actually, I feel like this is loose, so if I like try to stretch this as much as possible, like this would still be loose, you know? So that's how I tell. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about things being loose. So I'm going to do exactly what I did for round 12. So I'm going to do 6 single crochet of brown, and then alternate until the very end. So that would be what round 13 is, but that's also what round 14, 15, and 16 is. So you're basically just gonna do this like 4 more rounds. So I'm just gonna do like 1 more round just to make sure we're on the same page. So remember, like keep this, like if you're joining your brown from the previous round, keep this loose. And then now, and I do not cut off like the pink or the white. I'm just gonna keep it in the back here. And then so I'm gonna do 6 single crochet with the brown. I'm actually kind of excited what pink Kumashi is gonna look like. Okay, so that's the 6th one, and I'm gonna switch back to pink, and oh my gosh, I can already tell that my yarn is like getting tangled a little bit, but no worries, I'm untangling it like really easily right now. So yeah, no worries. That's the risk of like working with multiple colors at the same time. It's just, yeah, it's just a bit of a nightmare sometimes. Okay, so my pink on the right and my white on the left. So I'm gonna pick up the pink, and you want to make sure it's going to be loose once again, because this is like reaching like 6 single crochet like away. If you pull it too tight, it's going to be like super tight if you try to really like stuff it. So I'm gonna pull it a little bit. Well, I pull it a lot just because in my experience, like it's like keeping it loose is like the best way to go. Like keeping it too loose is so much better than keeping it just right. So yeah, just keep it loose like that, and then continue with the pink right here. And And sometimes like when you're doing like color changes, you can notice that like the boundary here, like right where the color changes, it can get a bit loose sometimes. So what I like to do is just pull like that brown color just so that it goes back tightly, right, like that. So I feel like it's a normal thing that happens and not just me, I don't know. So I'm gonna do the color change again. So remember, pink on the right, white on the left. And since the white is like reaching far again, I'm going to make sure that I'm gonna leave some loose, leave it loose like that, right, like that. So and then I'm gonna continue with the white, and white on the left, pink on the white. I'm gonna take the pink and then 2 there, then pink on the right, white on the left, pick up that white, do 2 stitches, and then white on the left, pink on the right, here, 2, white on the left, pink on the right, and then pick up the white, and then place the white on the left and pink on the right, and take that pink. And yeah, I feel like this should all make sense by now. So if you're still watching, if you're still watching all this process, remember, we're going to do this until round 16, okay? So this is currently round 13, so we want to do it until round 16, like the same exact thing. With the 6 single crochet and the alternating pink and white until the end of the round. We're going to do that until round 16, okay? So I'll meet you back at the end of round 16. Yeah, don't be scared. I think you can do it. Okay, I'll see you at the end of round 16. So, all right, I'm back with the end of round 16, and as you can see, it's starting to build height already, and you should have these like stripy rows, or 5. So you should have 5 rows of these like stripy things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you have 5, you are at round 16. And I just kind of want to let you know what's going on like on the inside. So on the inside, you can see like these Jaquest or Jack's pattern is like, it's kind of nice, right? Like it's a very tidy, but then boom, like the front, it's like a jumble of yarn. But honestly, it's so much better than having to like cut the yarn and then like tie it and then like just do it all over again. So I just do this. And you can see that even when I like put this inside out and like stretches as much as I can, it's still like loose enough on this yarn. So that's how I know for sure that it is not going to scrunch up my amigurumi, and make sure that it's going to poof correctly. Okay, so for round 17, so 17, I want to start again with 6 single crochet of the brown. Pick up the brown again from like that other side, so leave a very loose yarn here, and then just tighten it up a little bit, just tighten the pink a little bit, and we got this, and then so we're gonna start with 6 single crochet with the brown, and in this round actually we're going to start doing a decrease. So a decrease is essentially the opposite of an increase. So an increase is where you put 2 stitches in 1 single crochet, and a decrease is when you turn 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. And the reason why is because I have this plushie and I'm like making it curve a little bit on here because that's what Kumashi kind of looks like. So I'm gonna do like some decreases here, but then I'm going to do an increase again so that it gains back that like curve. So the decrease is going to happen over here. So as long as we're on this side, we don't really have to worry about it. So after the 6 single crochet of the brown, we want to do this alternating thing 5 times. So you'll end up with like 5 of the pink and also 5 of the white. So I'm just gonna meet you back when I've done like 5 pairs of stripes. I currently have 5 pairs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now I'm going to do another one that's pink, So I guess you can say this is like 5.5 sets. And then now I actually do want to cut the pink and cream off, just because when we continue, just because like the next pink and cream is going to be like way over here, which is kind of far, and honestly you can do the lazy method of just like reaching it and then making sure that it's loose if you want to do that, but I don't know, I just feel like I want to do it right this time. And my yarn was also starting to get tangled, so cutting it off is a really good way to reset that. Okay, so now actually, so you ended with the pink, and I kind of did it halfway because I'm gonna change color to the brown. Actually, for the brown, I am going to cut it as well, so I can like pull it over here, just because this is quite far away. That, and I'm just gonna do like a very long tail there, and then so I'm gonna pull the brown over here. And here is where we're going to start with a decrease. But first, I kind of want to tie off the white and the pink together, just to make sure they're super tight and won't unravel. Okay, and then also, since we have a brown here, I'm just gonna like tie that off as well, just like that. And I'm going to do the decrease here. So I'm going to do 2 single crochet and decrease, and I'm going to repeat that sequence 4 times. Okay, so if you don't know how to do the decrease, I'll show you. So it's 2 single crochet. So a decrease is the opposite of an increase. So because in an increase you insert 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, but for a decrease you're actually turning 2 single crochet into 1 stitch. And I'm gonna do what's called an invisible decrease, and it's I feel like an invisible decrease should be like the default in amigurumi, but people just say it, so I'm just gonna say it also. But essentially it's a different kind of decrease, so that the stuffing doesn't show as much. Okay, so the invisible decrease is as so. So you insert into the front loop only of the next available stitch, so front loop only. So normally you would do something like this, right? But you actually want to do the front loop only, like that. And then on the next stitch you want to also insert the front loop only, just like this. So you'd have two of these loops on your hook, and you want to yarn under and pull through all 2 of those loops. So you have something like this, and then you do a yarn over and then pull through all 2, and you got your very first decrease. So yeah, so that sequence of 2 single crochet and a decrease, you repeat that with a total of 4 times. And since I already did 1, I'm gonna do 3 more times. So I'm just gonna do it with you. So 1, 2, and a decrease. So remember, it's insert into the front loop only, and then front loop only on the next one, yarn under, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through, and there you go. I'm gonna do it again. So 2 single crochet and then a decrease. So front loop only and front loop only, yarn under, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then 1 more time. So 1, 2, and a decrease, and there you have it. And then so it's only repeated 4 times, and then on the last 4 of these I'm going to do a single crochet 4 times. 2, 3, 4. There you go. First single crochet, decrease round. Yay. Okay, so that is a very long explanation to round 17. And round 18 is gonna be very similar. So let's continue on with the 6 single crochet. So this is round 18, by the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and I want to do the color change, so pick back the pink like that. And so for this one, you're also going to do 5 sets of this pink and white. So I'll be seeing you once I've done 5 sets of the pink and white, or 5 pairs, whatever you want to call it. Just do the pink and white like 5 times. So I've done like 5 sets of that like pink and white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the previous round, you'll see that there's like an extra pink right there. So we're not gonna do that because I want to create that like diagonal effect. So I'm actually going to snip my brown from the previous round and then pull it over here like that. So instead of like the pink just like the previous round, it's gonna be brown, just like this. There you go. And then now we're going to continue the decrease once more, and this time we're going to be doing a single crochet and a decrease, and repeat that sequence 4 times. So let me just do it with you. So that's 1, and then decrease like that, and then that's 1 sequence, and then 1, decrease, that's 2, and then 1, decrease, that's 3, 1, decrease, and oh my gosh, I got hair stuck in this. Okay, I'm gonna undo this a little bit. Perfect. So we got 4 sequences of that, and then now we're going to continue the rest with 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! Okay, awesome. Okay, so that is the end of round 18. So for round 19 and round 20, it's going to be a bit, so for round 19, it's going to be a bit easier because we're not going to have any color changes. But don't worry though, we're going to have more color changes later. So I'm actually going to cut off this like pink and white and then just tie them off together. Yeah, basically like with like ends like these, you just always want to like tie them off together as much as you can, just because, just, you know, I mean, it's not like your dog is going to try to play with them or anything, but I don't know, I just think I like the extra security knowing that, you know, it on normal circumstances it shouldn't like unravel or anything like that. So there you have it. Okay, and then so for round 19 we're going to be beginning increasing. So do you see how like that decrease like caused that like little curve going on, and then so with the increase it's going to like recover that curve, so it's gonna like do that. I hope I'm making sense. I don't know what's happening. You're going to single crochet 32 times, but that's not it. You're gonna single crochet 32 times, and so you're gonna single crochet and then you just single crochet 32 times, and I'll meet you back once I've done like all that 32. Okay, so apparently I did the math wrong and it's actually 28 single crochets, not 32, but I'm fixing that on editing, so hopefully you didn't make the same mistake as I did. I got 28 single crochets right now. Now we're going to begin increasing. So we're going to do a single crochet and an increase and repeat that sequence 4 times. So single crochet and an increase, single crochet and an increase, that's 2 times, 1 and then increase, 1 single crochet and then an increase. There you go. So that sequence has been repeated 4 times, and then you're going to do 4 single crochet on the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the end of round 19. So for round 20, you want to begin again with 28 stitches. Okay, I'm gonna do 28 stitches and I'll meet you back when I've done 28. So I've done 28 single crochets. So now we want to begin increasing again. So it would be 2 single crochet and an increase, and we're gonna repeat that sequence 4 times. So that's 2 single crochet and an increase, 2 single crochet and an increase, 2 single crochet and an increase, 2 single crochet and an increase. There you have it. And then on the rest you want to do 4 single crochets. 4. There you go. So for round 21 we're gonna begin working with 3 colors again. Okay, so actually we're going to do this like right now. So I'm gonna undo the last single crochet, and then we're going to start alternating with white and pink. So remember, at first we began with pink and white, but now we're doing white and pink, and you'll see why, because it will actually like align with like what we have over here. So I'm gonna pull down the white. I'm gonna do the white here, and then I'm gonna alternate again with the pink, and then put in like a couple stitches here. So we got 2, and then I'm going to tie off like the ends. From here, we're actually going to do 6 pairs of the white and pink. So I've done 1 pair so far, so we're going to do 5 more pairs. And I feel like you should all be experts of doing this like stuff by now. So I'll just meet you back once I've done 5 pairs of the white and pink. All right, so I have 6 pairs of that pink and white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 pairs of that, and then you notice that I haven't even really done the very last stitch because I want to do a color switch to the brown. So I actually like cut off the brown from like the previous round because I noticed that it's going to be like a very huge like leap. So I decided to cut it off and like actually do the right thing here and just pull through like that. And then so you're gonna do the brown 24 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round once we have 24 stitches of the brown. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 21, and as you can see we have this alternating like halfway, and then halfway is the brown. So 24 stitches of this like alternating in total, and 24 stitches of the brown. So this is where it's going to get easier. For round 22 to 26 you're actually going to do the exact same thing as what you did for round 21. So for 5 more rounds, just do the exact same thing as you've done for the round that you just did, right? So 6 pairs of the alternating and then 24 of the brown, and then you just do that 5 more times. And then so for each color change this time, I'm actually going to do the cut and tie. So that's actually what it's called, the cut and tie method. So whenever you end a color, you just cut it and then you just tie it together like that, and then you begin the new color. Okay, so I've reached the end of round 26. So at this point you should have like 6 rounds of these like stripes. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 rounds of that stripey thing. And so now we're going to move on to round 27. So for round 27 and beyond, I'm going to start doing this like diagonal action going on here. So it's very well, it's still similar to the previous rounds, but we're just going to add some more diagonal going on. Okay, so the start of 27, you want to start with 2 single crochet with the brown, that, and then I want to switch to the stripes thing again. So I'm going to do 5 pairs of a pink and white. So do pink and white 5 times, and each color is 2 single crochet each. Do one of these, and I'm actually gonna cut the brown and just tie it off, and then start doing 5 pairs of the pink and white. For this one, I'm just gonna single crochet on top of the strand. So that's one pair. Now I need to do 4 more pairs. So I'll meet you back once I've done all 5 pairs. Okay, so I'm done with my 5 pairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So and then now I'm going to switch back to the brown color, and I am actually just going to single crochet the brown all the way till the end of the round. So that would be 26 single crochets for the brown. So I'm actually gonna cut this and pull this in and tie off the ends, and for the end of the brown I'm just gonna do it like, I'm just gonna like single crochet on top of the strand there, and I'm going to do 26 single crochet with the brown. So I have done 3 so far, so I'm just gonna keep doing it until the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 26, and at this round we should have a total of 48 stitches, same as what we had before because we didn't do any increases or decreases. And then now we're starting with round 28. So for round 28 we're going to start with 4 single crochet with the brown. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now we're going to switch to white, pink, and so on for a total of 4 pairs. Okay, so we're gonna take back that white. I keep saying white, but it's actually a cream color. I don't know if the camera is catching that. It's not. It's kind of like off-white. So, but I feel like saying white is just better. It's just easier than saying cream all the time. Okay, so that's one pair like that. So and then sometimes like you would see like this little bit of bulge there, so usually you just need to like pull the yarn in. And that reminds me, I'm gonna need to cut this, and I'm just gonna like tie it off with the yarn ends from either the pink or the white. Yeah, I feel like there's just no hard science to how you're tying these things off, as long as you're attempting to make it like secure on the back and making sure it doesn't unravel and all that stuff. So this is what I did. I just like tied 3 of them to each other. Okay, so yeah, so I've done 1 pair, so I'm gonna do 3 more pairs for a total of 4 pairs for the white and pink, and I'll meet you back once I've done all 4 pairs. Okay, so I've done the 4 pairs of the stripes. So it started out with white, so it should end with pink. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs, and then now I'm going to do the rest with brown. I'm gonna cut all these, and then I'm gonna do the rest of the round in brown, and it's going to total up to 28 single crochet of the brown for this round. And then we're gonna do 28 single crochet with the brown, and I'll meet you back once I've done all 28 and I've reached the end of round 28. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 28 for me. So we're beginning round 29, and I feel like this is going to start to become a bit complicated because we're going to do decreases while having a lot of these color changes. So in round 29 we're basically just going to do 6 single crochet and decrease and repeat that sequence 6 times, and at the end of the round we should have 42 single crochet stitches. The only thing is that while we're doing the decrease, we're going to have to align the colors appropriately. So I'm just going to go through it with you. So let me just get started with that. So we have brown here. I'm going to do 6 single crochet of the brown. So that would be like the first sequence of our 6 single crochet and decrease, by the way. So that's 4, and that's 6. So I still wanted to put the brown on top of the white just so that we can still have that diagonal thing going on. And then now for the decrease, we're going to switch to pink, because the next stitches we'll be working at is the pink. And cut the brown and tie off the ends. Okay, and then now we will be decreasing on the pink, like so. But then I'm not going to the very last yarn over, because we're going to switch to cream immediately. Cream or white, whatever. I just keep mixing them up. Okay, and the sequence resets because we just did a decrease. So we're going to do another 6 single crochet and a decrease while aligning with the colors. So 6 single crochet, so 1, 2, switch to pink, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're switching to pink and doing a decrease. So pink, and then so this is the decrease, and then I'm going to switch to cream once again, and the sequence restarts because we just did a decrease. And then here we're going to do another 6 single crochet and a decrease. 1, 2, and I'm actually going to go back to using brown because I still want to make that like diagonal shape going on. So this is I'm actually gonna cut the colors here as well and tie it off. And so I just did 2 for the sequence, so 3. Oops, I picked up the color by accident. So this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, and then decrease. And luckily we don't have any color changes anymore, so we're still just going to do the 6 single crochet and decrease sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, decrease. Just did a decrease. The sequence starts again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. Ta-da! You're done with your round 29. Now we're going to start round 30, and round 30 is pretty much very similar. It's just that we're going to do 5 single crochet and decrease, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times, and at the end of the round we will have 36 single crochet. So I'm gonna start with the very first one. So I'm gonna do 5 and then a decrease. Okay, let's do, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a decrease. I'm going to do the decrease with the brown itself. Again, so you see how like I'm picking up like 2 different colors at the same time, like, so the front loop of the very next one is a brown, and then the very next one after that is a pink. So don't worry about that though. Just decrease normally. There you go. And then since the very next color is white, I'm going to switch to the color white. And then the sequence starts all over again. So it's going to be 1, 2. Oh, I'm going to need pink. And then 3, 4, and then switch to white again, 5, and then we will do a decrease. So the decrease, I'm thinking I'm just going to use the pink just so that we can still have that stripe going on, and then decrease like that. And after this I'm just going to use the brown, and then the sequence starts all over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then decrease. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. What do you want, Zag? And then very last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. You got your round 30. Okay, and I'm at the end of round 30. So for round 31 onwards, we're actually not going to use the pink and cream anymore. So I'm going to cut off all my pink and white and tie them off. And then we are just going to use solely brown this time. So goodbye color changes. You did it. Okay, so for round 31, we're going to do the sequence of 4 single crochet and decrease, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times. And at the end of the round, we will have 30 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 single crochets we have, and then we're going to do a decrease, and the sequence starts again. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. There you go. And you're just going to repeat that 4 single crochet and decrease, and I'll meet you back once I am at the end of round 31. So I am at the end of round 31, and I feel like this is a good point for us to start stuffing. So I am just going to give it a little bit of give here just so that it doesn't unravel, and then I'm just going to take a bunch of stuffing and stuff this little guy. Push it down, and we gotta stuff it until it's like quite whatchamacallit, firm. Okay, I feel like I stuffed it firmly, so make sure you're stuffing it like a good amount, and make sure that you get this like round shape. Like make sure you're not like stuffing just up until here. Just make sure that it has this nice round shape, and you got your little thing right here. And notice that you also have this little dent, so you have this like fat over here and fat over there. And I'm not actually done stuffing it on the top, because I find that if I just stuff so much on the top, it's so hard for me to work in through the round. So we're gonna stuff a little bit more once we get to the end. So we are at round 32 now, so let's start with round 32. And for round 32, it's simple. It's going to be 3 single crochet and decrease, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times, and by the end of the round we will have 24 single crochets or stitches. I keep saying stitches or single crochets at the end of the round, but I hope you know what I mean. 3 single crochet. So I started with 1 there, so I'm gonna 2, 3, and decrease. Oops. And then one more time. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. Okay, so I'll meet you back when I'm done with round 32. Okay, I'm at the end of round 32, so now we will begin round 33. And for round 33, it will just be 2 single crochet and a decrease, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times. And by the end of the round, we will have a total of 18 stitches. So let me just do that a couple of times just to show you. It's going to be 2 single crochet and a decrease, and then another single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then decrease, and that should be the sequence. I'm going to meet you back at the end of the round of 33. Okay, I'm at the end of round 33. Now we will begin round 34, and it will just be a single crochet and a decrease, and we'll repeat that sequence 6 times, and by the end of the round we should have 12 single crochets. So let me just do that. So 1, single crochet. Oh, so 1 and then decrease 1 and a decrease. Now 1 and decrease, and yeah, you should know what I'm talking about by now. So I'll meet you back once I'm done with round 34. I am at the end of round 34, and we have one more round to go, and this is your last call to finalize all your stuffing. So I'm gonna just remove this stitch marker just so that I can access the areas a lot easier. So this is essentially just your last chance to like stuff the top part, and this is where I usually just mistakenly just understuff. So I am always conscious about like trying to stuff it properly and make sure that you get like on these like corners here, on these corners, because sometimes that gets left out, at least for me anyways. So get it on all those corners. Get all that corner going on, and that I feel like the stuffing like in these like corners is what like gives like that round feel even at the close of your amigurumi, because if you don't stuff it enough, it's just gonna like land kind of flat, and it's just not very nice to look at, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more. Okay, so I feel like I have stuff like the very top firmly as well. So now is our very last row that we will be working in, and it's just going to be doing 6 decreases. At the end of this round, you should only have 6 stitches left. So let me just do these decreases 6 times with you. So that's 1 decrease, and this is just going to be the trickiest thing to insert at this point. So, and then 2 decrease, 4, oh my gosh, 4 decrease, and then 5th decrease, and lastly 6th decrease. Oh my gosh, ta-da, we did it, we did the body. And then I'm so proud, it looks so cute and pink, oh my gosh. And then now we're just going to close up this amigurumi. So cut a long-ish tail like this. So this is how long I have it, and then now just pull everything out, and then now grab your embroidery needle and then pull through this yarn over, and then now you want to close this up, right? So what you want to do is just go to the next available stitch, but only on the front loop, so not on both loops like that, but you want to do the front loop only. So you get to 1, and then since you have like 6 stitches, so you're going to do 6 stitches. So 1, so this is 2, again in the front loop only, 3, again in the front loop only, 4 in the front loop, 5 in the front loop, and 6 in the front loop. And then now, since you have all of them already, now you pull, and then you'll notice that there's a little bit of a bulge, but don't worry, because we're going to insert, oops, I got my yarn off the embroidery needle. Is use the embroidery needle still and pull, and well, I like to just pull it through the hole, and then just pull it to like the opposite, like maybe like over here, so that you can pull down, and it will act like an anti-balance, I don't know what to call it, for the bump, so that it gets pulled like down essentially. There you go. Very small, minimal bump, and yeah, and then you basically close it off. But I just want to make it a little bit more secure, so I like to just put this yarn like over here again, just so that, and then just do something like this, and then make sure it's like loose enough so that it doesn't shape your amigurumi. And then I'm gonna just do it like a couple of times just to make sure it doesn't unravel and all that, but make sure that it's like loose. And then now you can just like cut it like over here, and yeah, you can barely see it anymore. Ta-da! And that is your body. Isn't it cute? Oh my gosh. Okay, now I want to start moving on to the hat, and the hat is a lot of color changes as well, but it's not as intense as what we had for the body, so don't worry about that. Make sure you have your secondary color. So I'm going to use this hot pink color just so that it's like a secondary color to this pink right here. So it's not exactly the same color, but it's like a different shade, a darker shade. So I got this one and also the cream. For the hat, we will start with this color right here, and we're going to do another magic circle. So crisscross, turn, down, up, pull, and then I'm gonna do a chain. There you go. And so for the very first round, we're going to be doing 8 single crochet in the magic ring. So let me do that with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull that like this. Okay, and then now we will start the color switching like immediately. I'm going to actually undo one of the stitches, and then I'm gonna do it again, but I'm going to switch to the white like that. So there begins round 2 essentially. So there ends round 1 essentially. For round 2, we're going to increase throughout the whole round, but for every increase you're going to switch color. And by the end of this round you'll have 16 stitches. So let me just do that. So we'll do an increase. This, so the increase with the white first, and then now we want, and then so that's the very first increase, but we want to switch back to the color pink again, like that. So that's the end of the increase, and then now we want to increase again, and then we switch back to the other color and then increase again. So I hope that makes sense. Like, you're just doing an increase for each of the stitches, but for every increase you're changing color essentially. That so that's the increase, and then switch your color again, another increase, and switch your color again, that increase, and switch your color again, another increase. There you go. And I actually forgot to push the stitch marker, but the stitch marker would have been like over here. So that's round 2. You notice that for round 2 I'm not even like doing the whole way, because I'm actually going to switch color once again. So so when you're doing the color changes, they actually will align with the color that was before it. Round 3, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 8 times, but for every sequence we're going to switch color. And by the end of this round you'll have 24 single crochet. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the very first sequence. So remember, the sequence is single crochet and an increase. So I just did 1 single crochet and then an increase. And remember, we're going to change color. So pick up the other color and then do another single crochet and an increase. And then switch color again. You do your single crochet and an increase, and then switch color again. You do your single crochet and an increase. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So for every sequence you're going to switch your color. Yeah, I hope this makes sense, because we're going to do this like type of technique until we're done with the hat basically. Got my very last one here. There you go. And switch back to the other color again. So as you can see, we just keep using the same color that was on the previous round. So this is my end of round 3. So for round 4, we're going to do something similar, which is the sequence of 2 single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 8 times, and at the end of this round we'll have 32 stitches. For every sequence we're going to change to the other color. So I'm gonna just do it like 2 times because I feel like you're probably bored of me explaining this now. So that would be 1, 2, and then an increase, and then we switch color. Oh, and by the way, I'm not like cutting the yarn or anything like that because these colors are like very close together anyway. So if you want to see my back, it kind of looks like this. I'll show you again once we have like a lot more rows, but make sure you're not like pulling these like too tightly. Once we get like to the bigger the rows with a lot like wider color change, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just do it one more time. So 1, 2, and then increase, and then switch color. Yeah, that should be very self-explanatory. So I will meet you back when I have reached the end of round 4. So I'm at the end of round 4 and I'm going to yarn over with the next color. So for round 5, we're going to do 3 single crochet and then an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 8 times. And for every sequence we're going to switch color, and by the end of this round we will have 40 single crochets. So let me just do that a couple of times with you. So 1, 2, 3, and an increase, and switch color because we just completed that sequence. 1, 2, 3, increase, and switch color again because we have completed that sequence. So I'll meet you back when I'm done with round 5. Okay, so I have reached the end of round 5 and I'm gonna yarn over with the other color. So for round 6, we're going to do 4 single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 8 times. And for every sequence we're going to switch color, and by the end of this round we should have 48 single crochet. So I'll do a couple of that with you. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, and increase. And since we completed that sequence, we're going to switch color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, and switch color. So I'll meet you back once I'm done with round 6 and the end of round 6, and I'm going to yarn over with the next color like that. So there actually is the end of round 6. For round 7 until 11, so that's 5 rounds, we're going to do 6 single crochet of white, 6 single crochet of pink, 6 single crochet of white, 6 single crochet of pink, and then you just repeat that until the very end. 7 till 11, you will have each 48 stitches. So that should be easy. No increases or decreases, right? So I'll just do a couple with you guys. So that's 1. Oh, by the way, this is what the back of mine looks like. It kind of looks like a spider web, and again, you really want to make sure that you're not like having this tight. So you can see like how loose mine is, so you do not want to like pull this when you're working with your stitches. You want to make sure that they're loose enough so that like this looks at an actual like flat circle, right? It looks kind of flat. It's kind of wrinkly, but like you're doing color changes, that happens, but it's supposed to be flat. Like it should not concave and look like that, right? So it should be able to be flat like this. Okay, so yeah, that was a tangent, but okay, so I did 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we'll do a color change. And make sure it's like loose there, right? Honestly, too loose is better than just right. So here we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and switch color. So I hope that's clear. You're just going to be doing 6 of each color, and then you're just going to keep alternating until like 6. You're going to keep alternating 6 by 6, so 6 white, 6 pink, 6 white, 6 pink, 6 white, 6 pink, until the end of the round essentially. And so I will meet you back when I have reached the end of round 11. Okay, I have reached the end of round 13, and I'm going to pull the white again. Okay, so now we will begin round 14. So around 14, we will do a sequence of 4 single crochet and a decrease, and we're going to repeat that sequence 8 times, and by the end of the round we should have 40 single crochets, and for every sequence we're going to switch color. Okay, so I'm gonna just do it a couple of times with you guys. So this is 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet, 3, 4, 4, and decrease. And since we're going to switch color, we're not going to yarn over with the white, we're going to yarn over with the pink instead. There you go. There you go. And then we're going to do another sequence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease, and switch color. And that should be the pattern that we are going to be doing. So I'll meet you back once I'm done with round 14. This is me at the end of round 14. So for round 15, we're actually not going to be using the white anymore. So just cut off this white and just stuff it in here. And for round 15, we're going to just be doing 3 single crochet and a decrease, and we're going to repeat that sequence 8 times, and by the end of the round we will have 32 stitches. So remember, we're actually not going to stitch colors, so this would be the easiest out of everything. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, oh, that's 3 single crochet, and then decrease, and there you go. And then just do 3 single crochet and a decrease, and just do that until the very end of the round. So I'll meet you back once I'm done with round 15. So I am at the end of round 15. So for row 16, we're going to do something a little bit different. And yes, I said row instead of around. Which means that we're not going to be like working in rounds anymore. We're going to like build height in just like a specific part. So this is for like the flap of the head. So for this one, we're actually just going to work in the front loop only. Okay, so we're going to start with a single crochet on the front loop only. So single crochet, and remember, just the front loop only. So normally you would do something like that, but now we just want to do the front loop only. So single crochet, then I'm just gonna put a pin here, stitch marker I mean, and then now you want to do half double crochet on the front loop only. So half double crochet is yarn over, insert to the front loop only, yarn over, pull through, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's your half double crochet. Now we want to do 4 double crochets on the next 4 stitches, and all of them are in the front loop. So yarn over, insert to the front loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now we're doing 3 more of that. And last one. So that's 4 double crochets, and then next you want to do the half double crochet on the front loop only once again. There you go. And then lastly you want to do a single crochet, and there you go. And then now we want to do a slip stitch to the next available stitch. So insert to the front loop only as well, yarn over, pull through once again. So that's a slip stitch. After you do the slip stitch, you flip the work around and then you start on the second chain. So you want to start here. So that's a single crochet. And then now you want to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three. And by the way, we're not working in the front loops only anymore. We're working normally now. So, and then this next 4 would be a double crochet. So do double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do half double crochet. And then on the very last one, we will do a single crochet. So the single crochet should be over here. And the very last thing that I want to do is slip stitch onto the next available stitch. So on the very next available stitch, which is this one, I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and then pull through once again. And that's my slip stitch. And I'm going to cut, oh, I already cut it actually off camera. So I have this like length right here because I need to use this to sew on the hat to the head. So I'm just gonna, so once you cut your yarn, you just pull through it like this and tighten it a little bit. And there you go, that's your little hat. And you can see that there's like, it's a little flap here for the hat. So for the hands and the legs, they're actually the same pattern. So basically you're just going to do this 4 times and you'll have your arms and legs. Okay, to start, we're gonna do another magic circle. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so that's my magic circle. And then the very first thing that we're gonna do is single crochet 6 times into the magic circle. 1, 2, oopsie. 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, what am I doing today? 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh. There you go. Got 6 single crochet. And then I'm just gonna pull this magic circle in, and there you go. So that's our very first round. So our next round is just single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 3 times, and by the end of round 2 we will have 9 single crochet. So I'm gonna just do a couple with you. So this is the very first stitch, and put a stitch marker in there. So single crochet and an increase, single crochet and an increase, single crochet and an increase. So that is our round 2. And then for round 3 until round 7, so that's 5 rounds, we're going to single crochet all around the round, and for every round it's going to be 9 stitches each. So I'm gonna just, I guess, do some really quickly. So this is my 3rd round here, and I'm just going to single crochet all the way until the end of the round pretty much. And I hope this is pretty easy to follow. Okay, so this is the end of my round 3, so I just need to do this until round 7. So I'll just meet you back once I'm at the end of round 7. Right, so I'm at the end of round 7. Let's begin round 8. So for round 8, we're going to do a decrease, 3 single crochet, decrease, and 2 single crochet, and by the end of this round we will have 7 stitches. So if that sounds confusing to you, I'll just do it with you. So we'll just do a decrease. We'll start with a decrease. Get that out of the way. So that's the decrease, and then we'll do 3 single crochet. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do a decrease again, and then 1 and 2. Okay, and at this point I'm going to leave a little bit of give because we are going to stuff this very lightly. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and then just stuff it in there. I'm gonna use the back of my hook to actually get it in there, and there you go. And make sure you're not stuffing too much. Like I said, try to focus on the end right here and not much on this other half right here. Okay, and then the last thing we're gonna do is sew it, well, not sew it, but like stitch it together. So you can see that at the end of this round you have 7, and if you fold it in half, you should be able to see stitches that are opposite of each other, and then we're going to single crochet them together. So do you see how, like, when I fold this in half with the working yarn on the very right, you can see that there's 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair of that single crochets. So I'm just going to continue this, and I'm just going to single crochet them together. So usually you would only single crochet into this like 1 single crochet here, but you want to do it on both sides and then just single crochet like normal. So that's 1, and then the next pair are these 2 right here. So I'm gonna single crochet them together, and then these are this is the last pair, so I'm gonna put this in and single crochet them, and that is it. So you want to leave a long yarn tail for sewing, and just pull that, and you got your thingy. Yay. Yeah, you're gonna make 4 of these basically, but this time actually, because it's like basically all the limbs right here, but this time I'm actually going to do something different, and I'm going to make the legs just all white like this, just because I feel like it's going to give the illusion of that bandage a little bit more. So you can definitely do whatever you want. I'm just doing white because I want to try something new, but you could also do the brown. It looks pretty good too, in my opinion. Make sure you make 4 limbs and come back once you have 4 limbs. Okay, it is now time to make the horn. So for the horn, I do want it to make the same color as what I got here. So in this pink one that I'm doing, I want to make it this pink color. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Do start with another magic circle. You just really cannot get away from doing magic circles over here. Okay, so that's the magic circle. So for round 1, I'm going to do single crochet 6 times into the magic circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 single crochets. And then now I'm going to do, for round 2, I'm going to do 2 single crochet and an increase, and I'm going to repeat that sequence 2 times, and by the end of this round I would have 8 single crochets. So since it's just 2 times, I'm just gonna show you guys. Oh my gosh, sometimes like my stitches are just so tight that I can't get it in. Okay, so that's the first one. So I'm gonna do 2 single crochet, so that's 1 single crochet. So and then that's 2 single crochet, and then 3 single crochet, and then an increase. And then let's do that one more time. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and an increase. There you go. So that's the second round, and I'm just making it like correctly curve now. And then for the third round, we're going to do 7 single crochet and an increase, and by the end of this round we should have 9 single crochets. So let's just do 7 single crochet and an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then increase. Here you go. Now that's the end of round 3. So for round 4, we're going to do 8 single crochet and an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 single crochet, and then I'm going to do an increase. There you go. So that's your horn. So the next thing I want to do is just to slip stitch into the next available stitch and cut a long tail for sewing and pull. And it's completely up to you if you would like to stuff this or not, but I just try to gauge it based on how much yarn I have on the yarn end, and then I can just like put it in there and I can just judge for myself if I want to stuff it. I feel like I don't, just because I have like a really long tail over there, so I'm not gonna stuff it, I think. Pause right now and once you're done with both of the horns, you can come back. Now we're going to do the eyes. So this is what the eye is going to look like. So you can see that there's like 3 parts going on. So there's the actual eyeball, and then there's the safety eyes, and there's also some embroidery going on here to make it look like he hasn't slept for 5 days. And obviously the embroidery thing is super optional. I prefer using an embroidery floss just because it gives me that like tinier and thinner look. I don't know what it will look like with the yarn, with just using yarn, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't look that bad. So I got my cream yarn here, and I'm just going to do a magic circle once again. Okay, and then I'm going to start with 6 single crochet in the magic circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then so that's round 1. For round 2, I want to increase all round, so I'm going to increase 6 times, and by the end of this round we will have 12 single crochets. So let me just insert that, insert to my very first stitch, like that, and then onto the very same stitch, another single crochet. And let's do that once more. So on the very next single crochet, on the very next stitch, insert your single crochet, and in the same stitch, insert your single crochet again. And same thing on the other stitches. So I'll meet you back once I'm done with round 2. Okay, so this is the end of round 2 for me. So for round 3, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times, and by the end of this round we will have 18 single crochet. Let me just do a couple of those with you. So that's 1 single crochet, and then an increase, and then do 1 single crochet and an increase. Okay, so just do that 1 single crochet and an increase until the end of the round, and I'll meet you back once I'm done with this round. Okay, I am at the end of round 3, so I'll be doing round 4. So for round 4 and 5, it's actually just going to be a single crochet all round. So you're just going to single crochet 18 times for a total of 2 rounds. And at the end of each round, you'll have 18 stitches. So I'm just gonna, I guess, do a couple with you. So this is my round 4. And then I'm just going to single crochet all around. Yep. Yeah, I don't want this to get boring, so I'll meet you back when I'm at the end of round 5. Alright, I am at the end of round 5 for me, and you can see it kind of like curves a little bit, making it look kind of like a bowl. And then the very last thing we're gonna do is just going to slip stitch to the next available stitch and just cut it with a long tail for sewing. And pull that, and this is what you get. Ta-da! And then now the next steps is to insert a safety eye on literally like the very middle. And that is what I have. And then I'm just going to put the, I think they call it a washer. I can't believe I don't really know what the name of this is, but yeah, whatever. Just put it on the back here. And there you go. And then the very last thing that I want to do is to add that like, I don't know, the eye veins. Do you call it the veins? No, the red is artery, right? Veins is blue. So what is that red thing? I don't know. Why do I sound so stupid? Okay, but whatever. I'm gonna take my embroidery floss, and it's going to be red. And I'm going to like just take a good amount of length. I try to err on the side of too much than too little, because at least if it's too much, I'm not running out of yarn, and that is hella annoying. Okay, so I put through my embroidery floss onto my embroidery needle, and now I'm just going to insert it like literally anywhere. So again, so this is the reference. So I'm just going to like put a bunch of like, I don't know, lines at like certain intervals. And then some of them is gonna look like a Y, some of them looks like an S. I don't know, just random. I have no rule for this, honestly. Just do whatever you want. That is what art is. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. Honestly, I'm just winging it at this moment. Okay, and then maybe like I'll make a V here, like a lopsided V. Yeah, kind of does look like an eye, like an eye vein. I don't know what it's called. I could Google it, but do I really want to? This is not something that I need to know in my life, right? Okay. And then I'll do one of these. Yeah, and then so like that, and then on another like place, maybe I'll do like a little one here. There you go. And then continue on, and I'll be back here once I'm done with this eyeball, and I'll tell you how we can like secure it after we're done. All right, so this is what I got so far. So as you can see, I still have a long embroidery needle there, embroidery here. So I'm actually just gonna cut off the excess here. And the very last thing we're gonna do is just to make a knot with the other yarn end from when we started. Oh my gosh, I just got a notification that my internet is out now. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with my life? Well, actually, I'm recording this, which does not require internet, so there you go. So just tie it off. I like to just tie it off twice, and that's it. Ta-da! So I got both of my eyeballs done. I'm not gonna brag, it kind of looks really good. And oh my gosh, with the curvy desk mat that I have, look how insane this looks. Anyways, so I tried to match the number of like reds that I have on each eye. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this eye. So I tried to match it with this eye. Just, I don't know, to me it makes it look nice, but you can do whatever you want, obviously. So we got the 2 eyes, yay! So the next thing we're gonna do is the ears. So I've already made like 1 ear here. So obviously we need 2 ears, but the only thing is, so I've made this ear right here, and this ear is a different color. It's the same pattern, but the outer color, so this is brown and pink, this is blue and pink. So I'm just gonna do this one. So I'm actually going to be using pink for the outer part and a lighter pink on the inner part. So for you, you'd need to create a brown one and also a blue one or pink one, whatever color. So let's get started. And you're probably gonna guess what I'm gonna do right now. Yeah, a magic circle, of course. So you're gonna do a magic circle, and luckily the ear is only 3 rounds high, so it should be quick. There is a color changes though, so that's what makes it a bit harder, but it's not too bad, I promise. So we're going to start with 6 single crochet in this magic circle. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm just going to tighten it. There we go. And then actually now we're going to do a color change. So really I'm gonna do the very last, I'm gonna undo the very last stitch just so that I can insert the color. So I'm gonna do the single crochet again, and then insert the inner ear color. There you go. So that's the inner color, and do not cut off the outer ear color. So I'm gonna just tie it off. Just gonna tighten it, but do not cut it off. And then now we are going to do an increase on the very first stitch of round 2. Okay, and I'm going to single crochet that into my first single crochet just so that it doesn't get loose. Okay, so that's 1 and then 2, so it's going to be an increase, and then we're immediately going to change back to the original color. There you go. And then next we're going to do a single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 2 times, and after that sequence repeat it 2 times, we're going to do a single crochet, and by the end of this round we will have 9. But I'm going to just do that just because there's not much going on here. So just a single crochet and an increase, okay, and then another single crochet and an increase. Ooh, so tight. And then very last stitch we're going to insert a single crochet, but since we're going to immediately change color, I'm just going to insert the next color into here, and that is the end of our round 2. So we'll begin round 3. So for round 3 we're actually just going to single crochet all the way with aligning the color. So this is the first single crochet of round 3, and in the beginning I forgot to put the stitch marker, so I'm gonna put it now. So we start with, so since there's like 2 of the lighter pink in the previous round, I'm gonna do 2, and then since the very next color is the secondary color, I'm going to single crochet with that now. There you go. So that's the color change, and I'm going to do this 7 single crochet. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There you go. And then I am actually going to use the light pink to end that, because we're going to immediately do a color change. There. Okay, so for round 4 we're going to be doing some decreases. So I'm gonna do, the first thing I'm gonna do is a decrease over both of the lighter pinks, and then I'm going to immediately change color to the other pink like this. And so that's the very first stitch. And then next what I'm going to do is single crochet and decrease, and repeat that sequence 2 times and end with a single crochet, and by the end of this round we'll have 6 single crochets. So I'm going to just demonstrate that to you. So we're going to do a single crochet and a decrease, and then another single crochet and a decrease. Oh my gosh, it's tight over here. Maybe it's just me because my crochets are so tight lately. And then lastly, a single crochet, and you are done. And then that's the end of round 4, and that is the last round. So, and then I'm just going to cut off this pink like closer over here, but for the other color I'm going to slip stitch to the next available stitch and have a long tail for sewing, and just pull till the end. And you can see that you have like excess yarn here. I'm actually gonna cut off this one because I feel like it's just way too long, and then I'm just gonna push it in, and this is just gonna act as the stuffing, really. Okay, and you can see even without stuffing, it's already kind of looking like a round thingamabob. Here I have 2 ears. One is in brown and one is in, well, hot pink, and for you it'd probably be blue or something like that. But yeah, get those ready and come back to this video. So you're gonna need the main color, so whatever your skin color was, and a dark brown color for the nose. So we're going to start with the magic circle here. Like this. And we're going to start yet again with 6 single crochet in the magic circle. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna pull that, and then next we're going to do 2 single crochet and an increase, and we're going to repeat that sequence 2 times, and by the end of this round we will have 8 single crochet. Now I'm gonna start with the first one. So that's the first single crochet, and then second single crochet and an increase, and then once more 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and that is the end of round 2. For round 3, we're just going to single crochet throughout the round, so that's going to be 8 single crochet, and by the end of this round we will have 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can hear, but my neighbors, I think, are having a party or something. I don't know why though, because it's a Monday night. What kind of party is going on right now? Anyways, so I have reached the end of my round 3, and that is it really. So what I like to do is just to slip stitch into the next available stitch and do a long tail for sewing, of course, and pull this. And there you go. And the last thing we need to do is just the snout, and that is going to be easy. Get a darker brown color and then just cut a like a good length. It doesn't have to be too long just because it's super tiny. So I'm gonna put that through my needle, and I'm just going to insert it somewhere in here. So we're basically just going to make a line like that. There you go. And then I'll just do one more time just to give that like nice thicker look, I suppose. And I feel like that's a good little snout. And the last thing we're gonna do is just to like just cut off like it over here maybe. And then I'm just going to tie off the starting end and the ending end together just to give a secure nose here. And there you go. And I'm actually gonna just try to like cram in all the yarn in here just so that I don't need to stuff it. Okay, I think this is way too much yarn, so I'm gonna like cut it off a little bit. Maybe like this or something. Yeah. And there you go. Actually going to assemble it together first before moving on to the mask and the toilet paper. Just because for the toilet paper, what do I call it? Why am I calling it toilet paper? Like mummy wrapping? Yeah, whatever. Bandages. Yes, that's the right word. So for the bandages, I'm actually going to make it like made to measure. So I'm not going to tell you how many like stitches or whatever that I'm going to be using for the bandages. You're just going to make it to fit the length, to fit the body of your own kumashi, and I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm just going to assemble it with you guys, and we'll make the mask and the bandages right after. So this is the middle of the body, so this is where I want to put the nose, and I just put like the eyes on the side or whatever. and I use these like pins just to like set it. And I actually don't have the eye stuffed yet, but I do want it stuffed, but I don't stuff it until like I'm done with like sewing it all around, because otherwise the stuffing is just going to fall apart. You can just approximately put the eyes and the nose where you see where mine is. It's not an exact science for me, honestly. I just put it wherever I feel like it's right. And so I'm just gonna like sew on. I'm gonna show you how I sew for like a couple of seconds, I guess, because my phone is running out of memory. So I don't want to show it everything to you. Also, I feel like it's super boring. So I'm gonna just show you how I do it. So I'm gonna just grab like one of these, and I just do this. Yeah, I don't know how to describe anything. I'm just gonna be like, oh, just do this, do that, do this. So basically just grab like some of the skin and some of the eye. That's pretty much all I do. And it turns out like that. And I'm just gonna remove some of these pins so that they're not in the way. And just back to the skin again. And back to the eye. And back to the skin. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And if at the point you're almost done with closing, you just put in the stuffing. So I'm gonna just keep doing this until I go back to where I've started. So not really back to where I've started, but I've left like a little bit of distance here so I can actually put stuffing in there. So I'm just gonna grab some stuffing and put it in. And sometimes I also like to put in like my yarn ends that I've cut off, and then I just stuff it in there, because what else am I going to use it for? So I just put some there, and I like to stuff it real good just because I like squishy eyeballs. Do not take me out of context with that. That's such a weird thing to say. Okay, so I've stuffed it a good bit there. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like a good eyeball, all right. So I'm just gonna sew it the rest of the way. Sew it the rest of the way. Okay, so I've sewed it the rest of the way, and then now what you want to do is to not immediately cut it. So you want to like just kind of like slip it into like somewhere that's like the same color, so that you don't it's not super visible. Oh my gosh, I think I just accidentally got a bit of the stuffing out. Don't worry, we know how to fix that. Do I though? Actually, yes I do. And then I'm just going to insert it like right next to where it came out. And I'm just gonna do that a couple of times until I feel like it's secure enough. I like to do it like 2 times. If I'm really lazy, I do it 1 time, which is probably not a good idea. So I think I just did that 2 times. So I'm just gonna like cut it off like right there. And then if you have any excess yarn, just put a shit in. And where was that stuffing that just came out? I did it. I just pushed it in. No harm done. Easy. Okay, so that's one eye done. So I'm gonna do it for the rest of these 2 pieces. So for the eye, it's gonna be the same thing, but for the nose, I'm actually not gonna stuff it. So I'll see you back once I've done once I've done the face. See, this is what I got so far once I've stitched the face together. I'm so excited how this is gonna look, honestly. I actually already stuffed it a little bit. So I've stuffed it like mostly on the corners. I didn't stuff it like all the way just yet, just because I don't want the stuffing to be in my way when I'm sewing this on. So basically you just put it on like the top here. It's like a little hat, and this flappy here is just going to go on the top here. And oh my gosh, like if I just think about like doing like this is so funny. Like what train conductor like puts it on the side like that? I don't know, that's just hilarious to me. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pin this over like that, just so that it doesn't move around. And another something that I'm gonna do instead is, so I have like a couple of embroidery needles. So usually what I do is that I just use the embroidery needle to like put it in place, because sometimes like for big items like this, it's just so hard to like just put it still just with like the regular pins. So that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place it like in the middle here, and gonna do, oh my gosh, yeah, do that so that it stays in place a little bit better. The only caveat is that make sure your embroidery needle does not go through the amigurumi, because that would be a nightmare. Like I've never had the embroidery needle being stuck in my amigurumi before, but I cannot imagine that would be a nice experience. So this is where my yarn is, so I'm just going to crochet along the head here. I'm just going to crochet it to the head, and once I'm almost done with like crocheting all the way through, I'm going to stuff it a little bit more. I'll meet you back when I'm almost done doing it all the way through. Nearing the end of sewing the hat on, so there's some that I haven't done left, so I am going to insert a little bit more of stuffing in the hat just to give it that poof look, and I feel like that's enough. And then for like the flap here, I'm actually going to sew this part of the hat instead of this part of the hat, just so that like once it's sewed on, you can still like move the hat around, like at least the flap. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to close it off by just putting into here just to secure the stitches. Okay, and there I have it. The hat is sewed on. So this is what I got for the hand. So this is where I am going to sew it on. So the start of the hand, I'm actually putting it right on this line right here. So where you see like where the color changes is happening, that's where I'm putting my arm. And on the other side, that's also kind of like where I'm putting it. Well, actually it's gonna look a little bit offset, so it's gonna be, so if you follow this line, it's actually going to be up here. So even though it's kind of like, do you see how like it looks offset, but it's actually not, it's actually in the same line. So that's where I'm gonna put it, and I'm just putting it like on the middle part of the sides, like that. And I'll be back once I'm done sewing these two. Okay, so this is what I got for the hand. I actually also pinned in my legs, so I just put it like over here. I think like I have like 8 stitches away, like so I have like 8 rounds away, and then I put like the top of my leg there, and I put it like a bit like off center, like so the hand is over here, and I put the leg like a little bit to the front, and same over here. Obviously you can do whatever you want. I just think that this looks super cute for me, so I am going to sew this on, and I'll meet you back once I've sewed both of them on. Okay, so I've sewed on the legs, and I've also pinned on the ears. So the ears, I'm just like putting it like on, aligning it with, so I'm just aligning it with the arm, and I'm putting it just like right under the hat. Same thing for here, putting it, aligning with the hand and right under the hat. And yeah, I actually made the ear in the wrong color, so I made it in this color initially, so that was incorrect. It should have been in this like secondary color. Look at that. I'm going to sew on the ears, and I'll meet you back and we'll sew on the horns. Alrighty, I've done my ears, and then now I am moving on to the horns. So for the horns, I'm also just kind of like aligning it like with the hands and the ears over here, and same thing over here. Obviously it doesn't have to be exactly aligning because nothing in this world like really aligns that well. Anyway, so I just put it here, and this is what it looks like from the top. Oh my gosh, sorry, it's like it's so close together, but like this is what it looks like from the top. Yeah, I'm just gonna sew this on, and after that I'm actually gonna sew this on. I'll meet you back once I've done the horns. This is what I've done with the horns. So as you can see, it kind of like slants a little bit like that, which is exactly what I want to do. What I want to do is not the mask and the bandages. I actually want to figure out like this lines right here. So these lines I'm actually going to do with an embroidery floss. You can use a yarn if you want to. It's just that it's just going to end up a little bit thicker, which in my opinion I don't want to do, but I do have embroidery floss, so that's what I'm gonna do. So in this Kumashi version I used black, but in this one I actually want to use blue. I don't know why, I just feel like blue would be a good color, like combination with this pink, especially it matches like with this eye color. So I'm gonna use blue. You can use whatever you want, obviously. So I'm gonna show you a couple of how I'm gonna do this, because the rest is just going to be the same. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do like this one right here, and then I do want you to do the rest. Okay, so I'll just show you how to do this one right here. I'm just gonna take some embroidery floss. So I just like, honestly, I just bought like a variety pack of all the colors of embroidery floss, and then that's what I did. So so I just got some embroidery floss here, and since it's gonna be like a teeny section, it's not gonna be too long, just to save some length there. So I'm just gonna pick it up like this. Okay, and then so what I'm gonna do is not immediately like insert like where it's supposed to be. I'm actually just going to insert it somewhere random, because that is how I'm going to tie it off. Okay, so from somewhere random, literally, I'm just going to put it through here like so. Oh my gosh, I hope this looks good. Okay, so once I pull it through there, it's going to make that line, and I'm going to pull it through here so I can like make that like stitch looking part. Oh my gosh, I hope it looks good. I don't know, what do you guys think? Okay, so I'm gonna stitch it in this part now, and then come out over here like that, and then I'm going to do the last one, and then once you determine that's your last one, insert like exit through the same exact hole where you inserted, and then you just pull through it like that. Okay, and then you just want to tie it in a knot. So just tie both of these with each other. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I put like the initial like length so too small, so do not make that same mistake. I hope you did not make that same mistake. And then just tie it off. So just like once or twice is pretty good. And since I'm lazy, I'm just gonna do it once. So actually no, you know what, I'm gonna just do it one more time. Come on, I can do this. Okay, so I just do it. Come on. Oh, it's just so short, so hard. Okay, I did it. Okay, so once you tied it twice, just cut it off, leave a little bit like that, and using the back of your embroidery needle, or some people like to use scissors, but then I just push it in, and hopefully you did insert and exit in the same hole, otherwise you would not be able to push it in, so make sure you do that. And yeah, once you've pushed it in correctly, and you have your embroidery right there. So now what you need to do is just to do it on the rest of this, right? So for me, it would be like on the rest of this. So on the rest of the shape of that stripes, just embroider it like so. And then on the body, it's very similar. So it's going to be from here to here. So it's going to be a bit of a diagonal. And then back here, it's also a bit like that. And oh yeah, it's actually like circling. And the other one is also kind of like circling. So it begins and ends. And there's like 2 over here. And then for each one, you're just gonna do like those little stitches that I just showed you. And once you're done with that, I'll meet you back, okay? All right, good luck. I'm done with the kumashi with the stitches. So this is what I got so far. I've got some. This is what I got so far. So it looks like this for me, and I don't know. Leave me in the comments below if I made a good decision with the blue. I don't know. I kind of like it, but I'm also kind of like, oh, I wonder what it would look like with black. But blue is what I got, so blue is what I'm going for. So the mask looks like this, and in my first version I tied it in the back, but for this version I kind of don't want to do that, so I'll show you how I'm gonna do it. So grab your cream colored yarn. So we're not actually going to start with a magic circle this time. We're gonna do a slip knot first. So this is how I do a slip knot. And if you need some more help on how to do a slip knot, I recommend a tutorial that focuses on that, just so that I can get this going. So first we want to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I lied. It's 6. Chain 6, not chain 5. Okay, so you got 6 chains. So now what you want to do is to single crochet starting from the second chain away from the hook. So not this one, but this one. Okay, so I'm gonna single crochet from there, and I'm gonna single crochet all the way through. So in total we'll have 5 single crochets, just like this. I'm almost there, so that's 5. So you got 5 single crochet. Now I want you to chain and then flip your work, and again we're gonna single crochet 5 times. So starting from the second chain away from the hook, so not this one but this one right here. So I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I'm going to chain basically enough so that it will reach all the way around. So I did this before and I think it should be 35. So I'm going to chain 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 so far, so I'm just gonna keep chaining. Okay, so I changed 35. So let's see if it actually like goes around. So I'm gonna do it this way, like that. And actually I think it works. I think 35 is a good number. So if you feel like it's a good number, so obviously you can do whatever you want. You can add more chains, you can have less chains, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go to the other side. So I started chaining from here, so I'm going to go to the other side, and on this stitch right here, on the very first stitch that I see, I'm just going to slip stitch into it, and there you go. So that's the first, so that's essentially the first tie, I guess. And then next I want to move over here so I can do more slip stitches for the second tie. So I'm actually just gonna slip stitch into like the middle part here, like that. and then slip stitch again until I reach this part right here. There you go. So I've traveled from here to here essentially. So I'm going to do another chain 35. So I think I've chained 35. I hope I didn't chain 45 or 25. I always get it mixed up when I'm counting. Okay, so hopefully I did chain 35. So now you want to go to the other corner once again, and then you're going to slip stitch into it once again. So get my yarn here, insert it into this chain, and then just slip stitch, and there you go. And now I'm just gonna cut an okay amount of yarn because I'm not gonna sew this on, right? Well, I'm gonna sew it into the mask itself, but it doesn't need to be that long. And there you go. And if you want to test this, so what I do is that I put it through like the legs, so I can't put it through the head because the head is like way too big. So yeah, I'm gonna put it through the legs. This is so funny. I don't know why. Like I'm just imagining myself like putting my mask on like as if I'm putting on pants. Isn't that like just hilarious? I don't know. Okay, so just like putting on pants. And there you go. It's a perfect fit, honestly. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, so it looks like 35 was the magic number for me. So there you go. And look, it looks kind of clean, right? It doesn't have like that tie on my first version of Kumashi. So I think, in my opinion, this is like a little bit better. So now the other thing that we need to do is just to like weave in these ends. So I'm just gonna grab my embroidery needle and just put it through like the stitches over here. It doesn't have to be perfect, and anyways, like the yarn color is the exact same, so it doesn't really matter how well you're gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it like this. Yee, my gosh. There you go. I'm gonna do it like one more time on its way over here. Oh my gosh, I think that's like too big of a gap, so I'm gonna try to make it a little bit smaller. Oh my gosh. Eee. There you go. And yeah, I'm just gonna cut this, and there you have it. I'm going to weave in this one as well, and I'm just gonna do that off camera, and I'll meet you back once I'm done with the mask. Okay, now the last thing we need to do is the toilet paper wrap. So y'all, I only have this much cream yarn left. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but well, I'm gonna figure it out. So anyway, so for this one, I don't actually have a stitch count just because I don't know, it just varies. Okay, so so for the hand, so I have like basically 5 pieces. So I have this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, and this huge piece. So these ones are they're kind of the same length, and this one is like a bigger length. So this one actually goes from here, and then it wraps around like twice, and then it ends up over here. And this one wraps around like, yeah, twice, and same over here. So as you can see, like my length isn't all the same. It kind of varies, and I feel like that gives a little bit more of like a unique look. So I'm gonna show you how to do this without counting your stitches, and this might be your first time doing this type of technique, but I'm going to attempt to teach you. It's called the foundation half double crochet. So you know how to do half double crochet because I've shown you in this tutorial, but it's going to be slightly different because usually when you do your like half double crochet rows, what you would do is you have slip knot, right? And then you just chain how many ever you want. So if you think that it's going to be like 50, you chain 50, and then you have double crochet into like starting the second chain from the second chain of the whole chain, right? And then you just keep half double crocheting like until the end of the chain. But the problem with that is if you get your initial number of chains wrong, Are you just gonna redo everything? I am not all about that, okay? So I'm gonna teach you how to do the chainless foundation half double crochet. And it's gonna be a half double crochet where you can modify how long you need it to be, and if you get it wrong, you can just add more half double crochets or just reduce the half double crochets. So with the foundation half double crochet, I'm going to start with a slip knot. I'm going to chain 2. So got chain 2 right there. So you see how I chain 2. So now you want to yarn over, insert to the very first chain that you made. So it'll be this one, like that. And then yarn over, pull through just the one. So you have 3 loops on your hook. And then you want to yarn over and then pull through just the one, like that. So you now still have 3 loops on your hook, and then now you do yarn over and pull through all 3. There you go. So that is your very first half double crochet. And then now you just want to keep doing that. Let me just do it again. So you want to do yarn over, and then you see how there's like this like chain right here. So you want to insert into that like chain, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna look like a V here. So you're gonna pick up like 2 and then yarn over, pull through that, and then you have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through just the one. You still have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay. And I feel like the first time you're gonna do this, it's going to be super confusing. I know that the first time I did this, it was so confusing. So if you don't get this right like the first couple of times, just keep going. This is a very useful skill, so I do recommend that you do learn this. Otherwise, if you've tried this and then you're not comfortable with it, you can just use your chain, just like estimate how long you're gonna need it, and then just half double crochet all the way through. But if you still want to keep trying to learn, I'm gonna do it a couple more times just to make sure that I'm doing my best. So I'm gonna yarn over again, and then you see like this loop right here, and then it's like a V. Like if you like look at it like from the side, oops, sorry. Like it's this loop right here, and if you look right from the side, it's like a V. So you want to insert it there, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through all 3. So I'm gonna do this a couple more times. So yarn over, and then the same one right here, and then if you look in the side, it's a V, and then insert it there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through 3. And I'm just gonna do it one more time. So yarn over, insert into that side here, that V, and then yarn over, pull through there, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through all 3. There you go. And then basically you're just gonna keep continuing this length until you feel like you can wrap it around. So I'm just gonna build a little bit more like length with this, and then I'll show you what I feel is correct. And then and also, if you feel like my explanation isn't super helpful, you can go ahead and find another tutorial on the foundation half double crochet, and maybe they can be a little bit more helpful. And also, again, this is a very useful skill, just because like I said, you don't have to count the stitches, and like if you feel like you need more half double crochet, just keep going. Or if you feel like it's too long, you can just like simply undo it, and there you go. I just undid one half double crochet. So I'll meet you back once I feel like I have wrapped a good amount, once I've created a good amount for the hand, just to show you what I mean. So I'm done with the length for my hand. So this is what I feel like is a good length to wrap the hand around. So it looks something like this. So I think I kind of want to wrap it around like twice like that. So you see how this wraps around, and then it like the end meets where the start is. So that is what I feel like is a good length for that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is fasten it off. So I have two options for you. So in order to stick this onto the hand or the legs or whatever, I am going to actually hot glue gun this, so I'm not gonna sew it on. So if you are also wanting to hot glue gun this, I recommend just leaving like a small tail and weave it in. But if you want to sew it on, which props to you, leave a long tail and sew that on. So I just have like a short tail on both ends, so I'm just gonna weave it in just how I weaved in the mask. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Alright, so I'm done with all my strips of toilet paper or wrapping, whatever. So the bad news was I lost the yarn chicken, so this one I had to use a different yarn, and unfortunately you can kind of see like this light color difference, but you know what, I'm not going to go to the store to get more yarn. Okay, so for this one, this actually I'm making it wrap around like twice. So I'm gonna start from the back like this, and then I'm just gonna loop it twice like that, and like this. Yeah, there you go. And so I probably don't need to show you how I'm gonna hot glue gun, because I feel like hot glue gunning is pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, basically just wrap it around like that and hot glue gun that, and do it on all four limbs and also on the belly. So you know what, I'll meet you back once I have hot glue gunned everything and my kumashi is pretty much done.
That is the end of the video, and this is the Kumashi that I ended up with, and he is just super adorable. And since you're like at the end of this video, it probably means that you made Kumashi already, in which case please tag me. Like, oh my god, I would be dying of happiness. I'll see you soon in the next tutorial or in the next chat or whatever it is. I hope you have a good day. I hope that you know that you and your art matters, so please keep creating. Bye.